What's up guys, my name is Terence and welcome to my tutorial series where I show you how to play the flute. This is my third video of the series, and if you didn't watch the first two videos and do not know how to play the flute at all, I would advise you to do it now so you can have a better understanding of what we are doing here. Last time we practiced two simple songs. I played the harmonica and locomotive. If you played those, it means that you know the basics of flute playing. However, before we move on to a more serious level, which I call advanced beginner, there are still some things you need to know. Today we will discuss three really important things that every flute player should know. First things first, it's of course the breathing. As the flute is a wind instrument, you need to blow into the mouthpiece to get a sound out. And as we already talked about in the first video, only 20% of your blow sounds. That means that you need to breathe quite a lot and of course plan it. We can already observe the breathing pattern of the songs we know. Let's take a look at I play the harmonica. The breath divides the song into two parts with 7 notes in each section. Unfortunately, it's not always that simple. The sections in the song are called phrases, but they are not always even. Most editions will put the breaths for you, which are shown as a little tick or the letter V above the bar. However, that's not always the case, and sometimes you need to think logically about where to put your breath. It usually happens in places with a little natural pause between the notes, or if there's an actual pause written in the score, or at the beginning or end of a theme. In harder pieces, I sometimes also get confused with where to breathe in, so don't worry. On this channel I will try to give you tips on where to breathe in throughout the songs, and if you do it wrong, absolutely no problem. Most of the time in playing flute, breathing is more of a stylistic accuracy, but it's still important to know about it. Secondly, a pretty important thing to know in flute playing is the usage of pinky finger while playing the flute, specifically the one on the right hand. So this one. For now, I didn't talk about it in this series to not confuse the disposition of fingers too much, but as we move forward, this will become more and more important. Basically, every time you play a note, you need to press this small button with your right pinky finger, and to this rule, there are only two exceptions: the note D of first and second octaves. The pinky finger is recommended for use but not mandatory. It improves your quality of sound a little, but that doesn't make a great difference, especially at the early stages of playing the flute. So if you are really confused with how it works, you can just leave it for now and always have the opportunity to return to it later. And last but not least, and probably the most important thing, is how to read the notes. Now I'll provide a little introduction into the topic and the beginning of the score itself, so not the notes, but the first strand of the score. And later, maybe in the next video, I'll try to explain it more properly. So the basics of what you need to know is that the notes you play are located on a 5-stripe line, which is called staff or stave. In the beginning of the piece, and accordingly the first staff, you can always observe some weird symbols such as this and this. Well, in fact, they are really important to what you are playing. Usually you will find 3 symbols at the beginning of the score, but sometimes only 2 can appear. Let's get to know them better. Clef, usually seen as this symbol, which specifically shows the treble clef. There are many other clefs in music, but the treble clef is the most popular for many instruments, including the flute. Here you rarely see any other clefs, and 99% of the time the whole piece is written in the treble clef. So I believe it is important for any musician to know that clefs exist. Sharps and flats. While most of the tones in the piece are written as notes solely, sometimes near the notes you can see these signs, sharps and flats. These can make the tone slightly higher or lower. For now, we didn't encounter any of these symbols in our pieces, but you can meet them quite oftenly. And of course, you can also meet them at the beginning of the score. In case they appear there, you always need to play the note sharp or flat. Whenever they appear in our pieces, I'll direct your attention to it. Finally, the time signatures. These are really usually represented by numbers, most oftenly 2/4, 3/4, or 4/4. Every bar there is a note that is played slightly stronger than other ones to keep your rhythm in check, and you can also see where it is as it is the first one played in a new bar. Time signatures help you with that. You can understand the beat better and already know the exact rhythm before playing the instrument. And that is all for today. I know it's a lot of information, so feel free to rewatch any part of the video you didn't understand as many times as you want. And of course, please give me feedback if it is understandable or not. If you didn't understand something, do not worry. It's the introduction to the fundamentals of flute that we're going to discuss much more in the next videos, so you have lots of time to catch up. Especially the note reading. I'll try to explain it more thoroughly and in detail in the next video, and we can maybe even do a little quiz then. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you want to continue learning flute with me. Good luck striving, and until next time. Peace!